for this next card, this is my most favorite card of the whole series. I love this card. In fact, when I was actually telling Tracy about my card, I was like, I think this is the best card that I have possibly ever made. I'm so happy with it. So when you're in your kit here, you're going to find all these little bits and pieces. Whoops, this is for the other card. And you're probably wondering what these little pieces are for. So you may have guessed it with the color palette, but we are going to be making a taco card. I'm so happy. So in your kit here, you have 2 pieces of green. This is the lettuce. And then we have these 3 little skinny pieces here. That is the cheese. And then we have the little tomato and the little limes. So the tomato and limes are actually cut out of a die cut that I used at the last card class, which was a lemon die cut. But I decided to use the lemon die cuts to create the little tomato and the little limes because I wanted to make a taco card. So I was really happy with that. All right, so what you're going to see in here in your kit is this little brown mesh ribbon. This is the roast beef part of, or the beef part of your tacos. So what we're going to do is we're just going to round the sharp edges there of the ribbon. We're just going to round those off. And then what you're going to want to do, well, what I did was I cut mine in half. You don't have to cut yours in half, but I just wanted to be able to arrange my beef however I'd like in my taco, so I decided to cut mine in half. All right, so on your little tortilla, we pre-did all the little tiny dots for you, but of course there's one set that doesn't have dots, so if you find that you don't want the dots, you don't have to, but the dots do make it look more tortilla-esque. Okay, so on the front of our card here, we have our dark brown lightweight paper. We're going to go ahead and put double-sided tape on that on all 4 sides. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to lay that on our card base here with about a 1/16 inch border on all 4 sides. And then we have this amazing handmade paper. I just got this in. This is actually Kozo with hemp fibers in it. It's really, really cool. And it really just goes along so perfectly with the theme of the tortilla and taco card. Amazingly, you actually don't need to worry about being able to see the double-sided tape through this paper, because once you put the paper on, you can't actually see it. So I put double-sided tape on 4 sides of my brown paper, and then we're just going to line this up, and it's going to go about, I would say again, about 1/16 inch of a border on all 4 sides there. And you can just lay that down. That's perfect. Now we have our little tortilla. So we're going to take this and we're just going to fold this in half. Now I'm doing kind of a soft fold where I'm not taking my bone folder and really creasing that because I want it to be kind of taco-esque. Now if you really need your card to lay perfectly flat, then of course you could take a bone folder and you could flatten that, but I decided not to. Okay, so for the inside of my taco, I'm putting double-sided tape down just on one side here so I can lay all my little bits in. So very first thing I'm going to do is lay in my beef. So we're just going to lay this down. So it's just going to be sticking out the edge. So what we're only seeing is what's on the outside of the taco because we're not going to be opening up the taco. So again, you can lay this down. Your piece may just lay down perfectly all the way across. But again, I wanted to be able to kind of manipulate my beef so that I could make sure that I liked how much was actually sticking out of the edges there. Okay, so now we're going to take our lettuce. Oh, I just realized I'm missing a die cut. Oh, how intriguing. Well, hopefully no one else is missing a die cut. Bear with me, friends. I gotta go get a Happy Summer die cut. Hold on. I don't know how it got missed in my packet, but you guys should all have a Happy Summer die cut that looks like this. Ta-da! So you want to make sure that that's part of your kit as well, and they should all be in there, no problem. But if for some reason your kit does not have a Happy Summer, please let me know and I'll get that cut for you. Okay, so now for our inside here, we have our lettuce and we have our cheese. So what we're going to do with our lettuce is we are going to crumple it up. I'm just going to roll it up just like that. Boop, 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 boop. There's our lettuce. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take one of my pieces of lettuce and I'm actually going to cut it in half because I want to have a little bit of lettuce for the inside of my card. So for the rest of this, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of go around the outside like this with my double-sided tape. And I'm going to take my lettuce, I'm just going to kind of smoosh it down. Now, you don't really need it. We're mostly wanting it to stick outside of the taco, right? Because we're not going to be seeing what's inside the taco here. So I just have my little lettuce sticking out like so. And I'll do a little bit over here as well. Oh, make sure I save my little half piece for later. Okay, so we're sticking that down. And then if you're worried about it sticking up again, you can just kind of flatten that down there. And then you can kind of pull this up to make sure that you have enough lettuce sticking out of your taco here. And it doesn't have to look perfect. In fact, if it looks too perfect, then it won't look very lettucey. Okay. All right. Then we have our little tomato here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut my tomato in half. I'm going to put on some double-sided tape on the back side of that. That way none of those little citrus inside pieces fall out. Oh, just as I said that, they wanted to start falling out there. I'm going to stick that right here on the edge of my taco. So it looks like a little tomato is sticking out. And then we have our cheese. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all 3 of our little pieces here. And we're just going to start cutting them into little pieces. So they look kind of cheese size and shape. All right, and then on our double-sided tape right here, we might need to add a little bit more. We're just going to add on our little cheese bits. Now, if you're worried that your cheese is maybe all going in the right direction, or it's like going in the same direction and you don't want that, what you can do is you can pick up your little cheese pieces and just sprinkle them on, and then wherever they land, you can just kind of press those down. Okay. All right, I think I'm going to get a little bit more cheese in there. A little bit more tape. Okay. All right, perfect. So then once you have all of your taco innards put together, I'm just going to put double-sided tape in here. I might actually put it on the other side of my tortilla, and we're just going to fold that up and just press it together. And there we have our cute little taco. Ah, I'm so happy with it. So happy. Okay, so now we're going to take our taco, we're going to put it at an angle. We want to make sure that there's no cheese or any taco bits hanging off of the edge. So I'm going to put on double-sided tape on the back side of this. And I'm going to kind of tilt it just a little bit so it kind of takes up a nice amount of space there, and lay that on. Okay, now we have our red glittery ribbon. I'm going to put double-sided tape on the back side of that, and then we're going to take this and we are actually going to tuck it just underneath our taco just a little bit so that edge is hidden, or that the cut end is hidden. And we're just going to stretch that across our card here all the way to the edge, and then I'm just going to trim it with my scissors here along the edge of that paper. Okay, all right, so that's what we have at the moment. Now we have our happy summer sentiment. So I'm actually going to be laying this right here. So I'm going to trim it right here along this edge. Now, I recommend maybe watching to see how I do this first, and then you can decide if you want to do it or if you want to wait and use a different sentiment. Honestly, when I was first designing this card, I really wanted the sentiment to say celebrate, kind of like fiesta style, like how fun would that be? But I just couldn't find the right celebrate that was the right size, that was the right font. So I thought happy summer really fit nicely as well. Okay. All right, so now we're going to lay this on here. We're going to take our bottom line, and it's going to line up with the bottom line of our glitter ribbon here. And I'm just going to lay this all the way to the edge of my glitter ribbon, tuck it underneath my taco, and just stretch that across so this lines up perfectly with the edge of my glitter ribbon. And I'm just going to press those down, all of my little letters. Okay. All right, and it is going to overlap just a little bit onto the taco itself, which I liked. Okay, then we're just going to flip this over and trim that off. Then on the inside of the card, just to tie it, oh, of course we have to add our lines. So what we're going to do here is we have our dark and light color. I'm at the store in case you guys didn't figure that out. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do here, and I recommend for adhering your lines together, use double-sided tape versus glue, because when you use double-sided tape, you don't have the warping, and I use 2 lightweight pieces of paper. So I'm gluing one darker lime and one lighter lime, and we're just going to layer those pieces together so you get the 2 different ones. So when I was doing the limes, I realized that this one was just really vibrant. It was just a lot. So I decided to layer it with the other one. That way it really kind of balance that a little bit better. So I'm just going to go ahead and put double-sided tape on the back side of those. We'll put the brighter one on first, and then we'll put the slightly darker one underneath it. Okay, all right. So there we have the front of our card, so cute. And then on the inside, this is where we're going to lay down the rest of our ingredients here. So I'm just going to have some double-sided tape right here. We have our little part of our tomato. We have our little lettuce bit here. Just kind of crunch that in there. Lay that down, and then we'll just add in our cheese wherever the double-sided tape is still at, because we don't want that to be sticky anymore. And we're just going to lay all our little cheesy pieces on. We'll put those in here. Just kind of tie our card together there. And there we have the next card. Isn't that so much fun? Ah, I love it so, so, so much. We love tacos, and so it was like, we're making a taco card, and I love using that lemon die cut in a different way. It just made me really, really, really happy. So I hope you guys enjoyed that card too. All right, on to the next one.